On this week's special episode of the A-Game, we discuss all things baseball and softball. We see what Sean Clark had to say about the incoming Mountaineer football players. Big news for wrestling coach John Mark Bentley, and we look at how the tennis season wrapped up. All this and more coming to you now. Welcome to the season finale of the A-Game. I'm Noah C. Cornelius alongside senior Chris Daniels and a new face to the show, Liam Dunman. Liam, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here with you guys.
Well, we're glad to have you here, Liam. And before we continue, Chris, you're a senior. How's it feel to be on your final episode of the A-Game, man?
Yeah, it feels great. I love working with you guys. It was such a great time. And now we just moved to the future. But this was definitely a learning step for me, and I loved it.
We're definitely moving to the future for sure, but we still got one more episode to film. So, starting things off with the red-hot softball team. How do y'all think the team has done this season?
I think the team has done absolutely fantastic, and I think all the girls on that team should give themselves a clap on the back and a party at the end of the season. One of the biggest reasons is because right now, as it currently stands on April 22nd of filming, they are 25-18. Now, their record last season was 27-19, so they're almost eclipsing that record from last year, that amazing record. And I honestly think that they can end the season on a 30-plus win. They have a few games left. They can get that. And obviously, with that 25-18 record, they are currently above 500, which is fantastic, especially in baseball when you're playing back-to-back current all the time. And, you know, you can lose a little slip in that and lose 3 games in a row. So they haven't done that. But one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that, you know, this kind of goes for all the sports, not just softball, but Troy has had a number for every sport. And I think that's one of the things that we have to work on next season. We lost that 3-game stretch from April 14th to the 15th to Troy, and it's not something that should happen. But overall, they had a great season. Kate Houston, all the other girls should be proud of themselves this season.
Yeah, I think the softball team has had a great season this year. Like you were saying, they've nearly matched their win total from last year with about 10 games left to go at the time of this filming. So we definitely have seen a big improvement from last year. I'm hoping to see them close out the year strong before the tournament, but it is going to be tough for them as 9 of the last 10 games are against Sunbelt teams. But we got some really good young players that I'm looking forward to carrying this team in the future as well.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting because at the time of recording this, about 2 hours before, I had the privilege of speaking with Coach Horner and Kate Houston and Mary Pierce Barnes. And something I learned about Kate Houston is that her mother obviously off the field, her mother is fighting breast cancer. So for Kate Houston to put up these incredible numbers, like a hat trick and these homers and these 2-run hits, like for her to do that, for knowing what she's going on with her family, it takes a lot of strength to put your mind on winning. And, you know, that has shown, I mean, like you see it, this team is winning, and the team's rally around Kate and what's going on with her family situation, and it's made her strong. And her mom actually comes to games and supports her too. So Kate Houston, for what she's had to go through off the field, she's definitely putting on a performance this year. And I also want to shout out real quick Mary Pierce Barnes as well, because she's right there behind Kate Houston. But all around, Coach Horner has put together an incredible softball team, and I can't wait to see what they do next year. And speaking of next year, we're going to look at the other stick and ball sport. What does the baseball team need to do to turn things around? If not this season, next season.
Now, honestly, I'm tired of coming in and trashing them. But it's I don't want to say it's hard not to, but it's something that they haven't really worked on, and you know, you can't really give any positives about the season. They're currently 11-23, almost below. They're currently at .324, which is not good at all, and they're creeping around that spot of dipping down 300. So obviously they have a lot to work on. 3-12 in the conference. They haven't done enough to even be legitimate in the Sun Belt. They lost 4 in a row, 4-9 at home, and one of the biggest things that we talk about every single week, this away stuff. So we have to work on the away games. They're currently 6-13, something that they have to work on next season. I don't know. I just hope that they really fix this, because we should have a legitimate baseball team here at App State. Obviously, not every school is going to have the best baseball teams, but you see what the softball team is doing. I think we should relate that and have all the sports be great.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a tough season for our guys. There's, in my opinion, I don't see this season getting turned around, but I just think that they should look forward to next year and really try to take away some of the positives and work on the things that they are already good at, because we know when they're on their game, they play very well. I mean, just last week, we put up a very impressive 17 runs against High Point University, which, as I'm not a big baseball guy, but even I know that that's a very, very high run count. So we know that ability to win games is there. It's just about the team coming together and really finding what that winning formula is.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some sort of baseball analyst, because I'm not. Everybody affectionately knows me as the NASCAR guy and sometimes as the basketball guy. But even me, in studying this team all season, I got nothing. I literally do not know what I could do or say that, like I just don't know. How could they turn it around this season? Season's already done, 11-23. You might as well just throw it in the trash. It's over. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, because, we should be better. But I don't really know what to say. I just don't. I guess, just, pack it up and focus on next year, but you got players leaving, new players coming on, and there's that uncertainty. It's like, I just don't know, It was just a really just poor season overall. Some bright spots, like 17 runs in games, that sort of thing, but overall just a very disappointing season and just not one to be remembered. So just pack it up and focus on next season if you can. And speaking of next season, what App State team do you have the highest expectation for next season? And usually I look to some of my partners to start this, but I'm going to start this time. Basketball. We lost to USC Upstate, which I didn't even know was a team in the CIT, NIT, whatever tournament it was. We didn't even make March Madness. We had a time in which we had like a 6 out of 8 game winning streak, and then we just lose key games, and then we lose at home to USC Upstate, and then all of our seniors leaving. Delph's gone. I miss Delph, or I think he might have eligible. But the point is, he might be gone. And I want this team to be good. We got Chris Mantis, who averaged 29 points per game in high school, coming onto the team. I'm expecting this basketball team to be good. So hopefully, and I mean this, hopefully we make March Madness. But I'm not going to make my ambitions too lofty.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the basketball team here. Like you said, we had some very bright spots this season, had a good few game stretches there, and I believe it was 2 seasons ago we saw them pretty much make March Madness. I'm going to consider that making March Madness. So, and we came pretty close to making it again this year. So there's really been kind of a revival almost in our basketball program here. So I'm really excited to see how much better we can really get. And it really seems like the student population is really starting to get behind this basketball team. Yeah. You go to games, the student section's packed, especially if it's a weekend game or a bigger game. We have some really good players down there, even though we are losing Adrian Delph. I have faith in our younger guys like CJ Huntley to really keep this team together and make a good run next year.
Yeah, so I know you guys talked about Adrian Delph. He's going into the draft, but he has that option to come back, so he can come back.
I knew I wasn't tripping.
Which is also great because, we have a guy I want to touch on in a few seconds, but we have a bunch of new recruits that are coming in this season. One guy, Bryson Ogletree, he averaged 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists with 2 steals. And that's one of the things that we need on this team. We really need to work on that defense and the ability to steal, because the teams are stealing from us, and we're not going back and taking from them. So we got to really work on that. But back to Adrian Delph, he can come back. So I think if he does come back and he doesn't get drafted, and of course we want him to get drafted, but if he doesn't, he can come back, teach the young guys, be that super senior on the team that can eventually, and I honestly feel like we can honestly go back to the first 4 and maybe deeper.
Yeah, that eligibility is key from Adrian Delph, as he was undoubtedly the best player on this squad. But stay with us, because we will have more from Liam and Chris after the break.
Hey. time for Sports Wrap on 90.5 WASU FM.
Unpredictable NC State can be on a
That is true. I feel like they do have one of these games in this part of the season every year. I'm not going to get into a big discussion about expanding it. I definitely think it should be maybe capped at 8 teams, maybe
I think
6. Because
228 yards on the ground as compared to a total of 55 for Coastal Carolina. I count one team of the 6 games that they have played this year that was in the playoffs last year.
Welcome back to a brand new season of Can't Think Straight. I'm Harriet.
And I'm Nate. Come join us Fridays at 9 p.m. for comedy and queer-oriented content.
You can tune in on watchapptv.com or any of these channels below.
Also, check out our Instagram at Can't Think Straight App TV. Can't wait to see you there.
Bye.
Connected Cultures is back for spring 2022.
We'll be talking to you about Mexico, South Africa, the Netherlands, and so much more.
You can watch us every Friday at 10 a.m.
Either online at watchapptv.com or on campus on channel 23.3. Bye.
Welcome back to this special finale episode of the A-Game. I'm Noah C. Cornelius. The football season is right around the corner here in Boone, and speaking of the upcoming season, what is your game to watch in 2022 and 2023?
I'm going to go with the game against Coastal Carolina. Last year we saw one of our best games be played against them, and we upset them when at the time they were ranked number 14 in the nation. And I know that App State's going to want to keep that win streak going, and as well, Coastal is going to be looking to get some revenge on us for kind of putting a damper on their season last year. So there's definitely going to be some bad blood between these two teams, and I'm really excited to see how that's going to work out. And it's also very late, and it's pretty late into the season. So depending on how these two teams are looking, that game could hold some more weight.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about a game that many people might not look forward to coming into next season, but I'm really looking forward to that game against Marshall. Now, I may have some bias because I was there, and it was such a great environment to be in because, Marshall defeated us in the second quarter. We both had 14, and then they had first quarter they had 6. And then, of course, we ended the game with 10 points. But it was such a clutch effort that ended in a 31-30 game. And it was also the 2020 grad night, so congrats to them again. But it was such a great matchup, and I would love to see it again. Just a matchup I would love to see next season.
Texas A&M Aggies. I literally don't know what else needs to be said. Texas A&M Aggies. Now, I know we're playing the Tar Heels in Kidd Brewer. I had to do a double take here. North Carolina Tar Heels in Kidd Brewer Saturday, September 3rd. But Texas A&M, that team that's a bona fide football team. No offense to North Carolina, but I mean your Texas football teams, those are some teams right there. But I'm excited to see Texas A&M Aggies in College Station, Texas. I've never been to Texas. I might make the road trip. But no matter what happens, 2 diehard football schools going together. I might have to go down to Texas to see that. But I'm excited to see Texas A&M Aggies play next season. And speaking of next season, who are some players you are excited to watch?
So I'm all about resiliency. If you can't stay on the field, there's kind of an issue there. I really loved Milan Tucker's game last season. He's one of the most resilient wide receivers in the Sun Belt Conference and for App State. And then we also seen him translate his game from playing at the slot receiver for the first couple of games of the season, and then ending the last 8 on a cornerback. So obviously he's being able to play great in any facet you put him in, and when you put him on the floor in the field, he's such a great player, and I'm looking forward to him doing what he does next season.
So I have 2 players, one on each side of the ball. So for the offensive side, I'm going to go with Nate Noel. This past year, just had an absolute beast of a year, averaging over 5 yards a carry and broke 1,000 rushing yards. I think we're going to see very similar stats to that next year, and as well as him getting that total touchdown number up. I think he only had about 3 or 4 touchdowns last year. But for the defense, I'm really excited to see Nick Hampton. He tallied up double-digit sacks last year with 11 total and around 70 total tackles. So in my opinion, there's nothing more exciting than seeing a quarterback get sacked in the game of football, so I'm really excited to see that happen.
We're talking about quarterbacks, and I was really, really hard on this one last year during my first season with the A-Game. Chase Bryce, he's a grad student. He's coming back to play for the Mountaineers. Now, the reason why I was so hard on Chase Bryce is because he did transfer here, and in his first couple of games, he was not really getting adjusted very well. He did have very big booming plays, and we did see those big wins against Coastal and Marshall, like you said. But now that he's coming back onto this squad, you lose pieces like Malik Williams, he's still coming back with this squad, and he's already adjusted to the App State system. Same coach, same that. We got a new assistant coach. I think his name is Geep Wade. I think I said his name wrong. It might be Jeep Wade. But, he's coming back, and he's already adjusted to App State. So I'm very excited to see what Chase Bryce does this season now that he's not just a transfer, but he's a Mountaineer. Switching things up to the NBA playoffs now. What are your thoughts so far on the tournament?
I have been loving the NBA playoffs this year so far. I was sad to see my Hornets get knocked out in the play-in game, but other than that, it's been great. Jordan Poole for the Warriors has just been going crazy. Jimmy Butler almost had that 50-point game, and we've seen a couple great games between the Celtics and Nets. I mean, I could just go on and on about all the great things we've seen in only the first round. So I'm really expecting these playoffs to really, really be a great season. Like in the end of the season, it's going to be great. And it's also just really hard to tell who's going to come out on top right now. But I have Suns and Bucks rematch happening, and I think the Suns are going to take it this time.
Yeah, so NBA is kind of my bread and butter. So I want to touch on the West and the East, respectively. So first, the East, I'm loving the Celtics and the Nets matchup. I'm a big Jason Tatum fan. I love what he did at Duke. I love what he's doing with the Celtics, too. And, watching the Celtics team, you could tell that their defense is just on point this playoffs. They're locking down KD, making him shoot 8 for 20 on a night where we don't really see KD doing that, one of the greatest shooters in the league. We're seeing Kyrie get locked down. Obviously, that's kind of point to, Ramadan, and also the fact that the Celtics fans are always berating him. And I'm also loving the Heat matchup against the Hawks, especially after what we saw the Heat do at the end of the season. We kind of saw them, quote-unquote, break apart because we saw Jimmy Butler arguing with Udonis Haslem. And they said that happened. So if that's their culture, they bounce back, and they're showing that they can rebound from that. But I do have the Celtics coming out the East. If they beat the Nets, I have the Celtics coming out the East. I think they can easily beat the Bucks. I think they can beat the Sixers, too. If the Sixers advance, they can beat the Heat. The Heat advance. It doesn't matter. I got the Celtics. For the West, I'm really loving the Timberwolves and Grizzlies matchup. That matchup is fantastic. Two great young teams. One having Anthony Edwards, and of course we have John Morant, two of the best teams in the league right now. And then the Warriors, like you talked about, Jordan Poole playing absolutely fantastic. They have a new lineup, they call it the Death lineup, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and of course Draymond Green. So they're doing their thing, they're destroying the Nuggets. The Nuggets, they've lost, I believe, 6 games in a row in the playoffs, so they're about to get swept again, possibly. So that's not good. But I do have the Warriors going out on the West.
First of all, I was about to say pump the brakes on that so much. And, Eric in the booth right now, he's going to love this. He's our producer. Shout out, Eric. I think the 76ers are making it out the East. Joel, I heard him, he did an exclamation in the booth right there. But Joel Embiid, man, I think Jokic is the better center and the better player. But Joel Embiid, what he's doing, absolutely insane. Then you got James Harden doing it too. That's a team that's not afraid of anything. And Tyrese Maxey, this dude came out of nowhere. I thought the dude for the Pistons, I thought the dude for the 76ers was going to be Shake Milton. Nah, Tyrese Maxey has been balling. I think every time he shoots that ball, the ball's on fire like an NBA jam. I think the 76ers are coming out of the East. Now the West, I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a huge Bron fan. I think the Warriors are coming out of the West, man. With LeBron and the Lakers not making the playoffs, that hurt my soul. It really hurt my soul because LeBron is the GOAT, but that team that they put around Bron wasn't good enough to make the playoffs. But the good thing, I have to admit, I'm not just a blind LeBron fan. The good thing about this is that the West is wide open, and I guess not because the Warriors, but the West is open. When LeBron's not in the playoffs, you're seeing all these teams that you don't usually see pop off. Unfortunately, though, I don't know how good these other teams are going to be against a Warriors squad with the greatest three-point shooter of all time, the other greatest three-point shooter of all time, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, Donkey from Shrek, you know what it is, and the Warriors, dude. I think that the Warriors make it out, and Eric, I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm looking at you through the window right now. I think that the 76ers are going to get swept in the finals by the Warriors, dude. But the 76ers, they're solid, and the Warriors are too, but Steph's winning his fourth. Well, a big thank you to Liam for joining us for that awesome discussion. And after the break, we'll look at how the baseball team prepares for a 3-game series. And later, we talk with John Mark Bentley about winning Coach of the Year.
Hi, neighbor.
I'm Ryan Perone.
And I'm Elena Jones.
Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. as we explore the events, organizations, and people that make the High Country so special.
You can tune in on Channel 198 for Spectrum customers, Channel 20 or 1020 for SkyBest customers, or Channel 23-3 on campus.
Also, make sure to follow us at Instagram at @hi_neighbor_app_TV for up-to-date coverage of events happening and student-made content. Until then,
bye neighbor.
Do you like video game news and entertainment? Well, App TV's original gaming news channel Pixel Peak is back for our 8th season. Every other week we discuss news stories, give a game review, display gameplay, and more. Be sure to check out our new season bi-weekly on Thursdays at 3 on WatchAppTV.com, SkyBest Channel 20 and 1020, Spectrum Channel 198, or on App State's Campus Television Channel 23.3. Thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you next time on Pixel Peak.
Welcome back to the A-Game. I'm Noah C. Cornelius alongside Chris Daniels. App State Athletics has announced that wrestling coach John Mark Bentley has received a contract extension through 2027. Bentley's track record with the Mountaineers is something special. Over his Mountaineer career, Bentley has 122 wins and only 73 losses. In the past 7 years, he has led the Mountaineers to 5 SoCon titles. Bentley has also become a 3-time National Coach of the Year during his time here at App. App State Deputy Athletic Director Jonathan Reeder said they are excited to have John Mark continue to lead the program.
We caught up with the baseball team to see how they prepared for a 3-game series. Let's take a look.
Hey y'all, my name is Grace Ficara and welcome back to the A-Game. Today we are at Beaver Stadium where we'll be watching App State play against Coastal Carolina. They're currently 11-19, so we're really hoping to pull out a win today. Hey y'all, it's Grace again with App TV's The A-Game, and I'm here with Andrew Greco, and he'll be telling us a little bit about the season. So I hear you just came off of a big win at High Point. How was that for you?
It was good. It was good to see our offense come alive and really take control of the game. So.
Right, and today we're playing Coastal Carolina. Are you nervous? How have you been preparing for that so far?
Just a good day of practice yesterday. Looking for a big win in Standout today versus Coastal Carolina.
And what do you say is the number one thing your team can pull together to improve on through the remainder of the season?
Just keep putting together good at bats 1 through 9 and pitching the ball very well.
All right, and are you excited?
Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Potocznik. Behind me, we have Coastal Carolina prepping for bat, while our players are off to the side stretching and preparing for the game today.
As the academic year comes to a close, so does the tennis team's season. The season ended on April 21st as the Mountaineers came up short in the first round of the Sun Belt Conference Championship against Texas State, losing 4-2. The number 9 seed Bobcats got out in front early and stopped the late comeback against our Mountaineers. The recent bright spot for the Mountaineers this season is Helena Jansen being named to the 2022 Sun Belt Singles All-Conference First Team. Jansen had an incredible season, having a singles record of 15-7 and also going 5-0 in conference play. We here at the A-Game look forward to seeing Jansen in her senior season next year and the strides she'll continue to make. After the break, we catch up with the wrestling team, and we also see what Sean Clark has to say about some of the new App State players.
What's going on?
Up late.
What is that?
Sketch show! Sketch show!
Oh boy, when does it air?
Sunday night!
What time?
9 p.m.
Thanks.
Memories. A sweet retrospective look at the past. However, the past has, well, passed. And now, a new and better crew looks toward the horizon and marches toward Appalachian State head-on. This spring, look toward App Avenue on App TV to see a new legacy be written on random days of the week. No, seriously, this show will literally be airing any day of the week, so stay glued to those screens. We'll see you out there.
Appalachian Avenue! Connected Cultures is back for spring 2022.
We'll be talking to you about Mexico, South Africa, the Netherlands, and so much more.
You can watch us every Friday at 10 a.m.
Either online at watchapptv.com or on campus on channel 23.3.
Bye.
Welcome back to the A Game. I'm Chris Daniels alongside Noah C. Cornelius. App State football's spring practices have wrapped up, and now we have a chance to look at how the team is shaping up heading into the 2022 season. Let's see what head coach Sean Clark had to say about the new recruits.
You know, we had a transfer. Caden Robinson came in from Central Florida. He was a big shot in the arm for us. We'll be young at the receiver position because we lost 4th, 5th, and 6th year players. I think Amani came in and gave us more depth at running back, and Ryan Berger really stepped in and took control of the second string quarterback as of now. Him and DC Tapscott battled it out. So I'm very pleased where we are for the future. Chase had an outstanding spring. He showed his leadership, and we were able to really push the ball down the field this spring versus our defense.
We caught up with the App State wrestling team's coach, John Mark Bentley. Let's take a look.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background?
My name's John Mark Bentley. I'm the head wrestling coach here at Appalachian State, and just finished my 16th year here at Appalachian, and 13th year as the head wrestling coach. So been here a little while, but it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Yeah, for sure. So first, I do want to congratulate you on a new contract extension through 2027. What does it mean to you to know that the athletic department believes in you enough to give you a long-term contract?
I just think it shows the commitment of the administration to what we're doing here in our program and the long-term success of it. I mean, we've had a lot of success over the last couple of years. We won another conference championship this year, had another All-American, and so I think it's nice for me just to see that hard work and those accolades are not going unnoticed.
For sure. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time today. I hope you have yourself a great rest today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm Leonard Marion. I'm here with Caleb Smith of the wrestling team. And just real quick, I just wanted to ask you, what's the hardest part of wrestling?
Definitely the practices. Coaches push us so hard each and every day. It's just a grind. Wrestling is different from every other sport. You don't get a rest like in other sports. You got other people out there who can do your job. It's just one-on-one battle between you and the other person. So that's why I choose. I like the challenge.
Oh yeah, so that goes to my next question. So why wrestling and why App State?
So App State, they recruit a lot of in-state guys. I'm from North Carolina myself. So Coach Bentley does really good getting us here and making us like top-level guys in the nation. So I really wanted to grow as an athlete instead of just being a number at another school.
That's all the time we have for you this week. I'm Chris Daniels.
And I'm Thomas Cassidy, the producer of the A Game. I've been the producer, for 4 semesters now, about 2 years. It's been a blast. I just want to say thank you to the countless number of fans out there for watching the A Game each and every week. And I just want to say a huge thank you to the team from this past semester and previous semesters. Could not do the A Game without you guys. So huge thank you to that. And I'm excited to see where Eric Fisher, the future producer of the A Game, takes the show next semester. And as always, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the A Game Sports. And unfortunately, Chris and I will not see you next time on the A Game, but the A Game will be back in the fall. So see you then.